The Country Trust is a charity which works to engage young people with where their food comes from and the environment. We have 3 programmes taking young people on residential trips, visits to farms and food discovery programme.
We went to Tiptree Farm and we got to pick rhubarb and we took it home.
My favourite was when we were touching the chickens.
The children who come to this school predominantly live in blocks of flats.
They don't tend to have many life experiences. They live within a very sheltered community, so although the community is very tight-knit, they don't really tend to explore the wider world.
We're usually just playing out on the street and it isn't as grassy and green as this.
Just coming off the coach this morning and smelling that actual fresh air and not the smog in London, it just made a big old difference.
When they first get off the bus, they say, are they lions? Are we going to see lions? Are we going to see unicorns?
They know so little about the countryside, and for them to discover that there's this, like a whole new planet out there almost, that they can go out into.
Sometimes they just love to get into a field and run.
The way they learn today is different. We're not confined in a classroom. We're not just showing them pictures. They got to touch the calf, they got to touch the chickens.
I've never been to the countryside before, so I think it's very interesting to come and see what's out here.
Without the Country Trust, schools would have an enormous challenge of organising these trips, which many teachers don't have the knowledge and expertise around. So the reality is, it might not happen. We need the Country Trust to provide those opportunities, make it accessible for teachers, and the children then get the best opportunities to access the countryside.
We would have no way of knowing which schools could benefit from Visit Out to Us. And similarly, I should imagine if you're the school and you wanted to visit out to the farm, you'd have no way of knowing how to find a farm. So the Country Trust was absolutely instrumental in putting the 2 of us together.
One young man who came with us away, who'd been struggling at school, he wasn't knuckling down, he found the curriculum very difficult. But when he came with us, he saw it in a different light. Teacher told us a few months later the change in that young person from when they'd been away, and now he was inquisitive at school, he was wanting to learn, he'd engaged more, and it changed his life around.
Children should come to the countryside so they can look at all the new things, learn new stuff and see new stuff. We've been growing courgettes, lettuce and potatoes, and today we've been harvesting them for our big feast.
Not only do the children learn about where their food comes from, but they're also working as a team. They're putting quite creative skills to use in terms of cooking and making dishes. They are having to communicate in many different ways and engaging with adults and people they've not met before as well.
The Country Trust has been just an absolutely amazing project, and it's benefited our children so much, not just giving them new experiences and letting them see the countryside firsthand, but it's opened up their tastes, their way of looking at food. And not only that, but it's actually increased their writing opportunities, it's developed their speech, their language. There is just so many benefits.
My words of encouragement to somebody who was thinking about making a donation or becoming a sponsor of Country Trust would be, please do, because every pound, every penny that's donated truly makes a difference to our children's educational experience. When you watch children running through the farm or having that first experience of harvesting potatoes and the wonder that comes on their face of, I grew that, that's a really memorable moment for them, and you might have funded it.
Without the Country Trust, none of this would have happened today. I think it's brilliant that it has.